One day I'm going to get the timing of our intro right. So there's not an awkward 1 second footage of us before it starts.
Like,
hey, you buddy.
Good, dude. How are you, mate? All right?
Good. Doing good, mate. Doing good. Another week. Episode 7 for the year. We're 7 weeks in. A lot of, there's a few stories with this week, but not a hell of a lot to go through. But there's always something to talk about in what we do, mate. So, before we start into our shows, let's talk about what we've been watching this week. What have we seen this week, Rick? And you can kick it off for us. What have you been watching?
Interesting? Look, there's a couple of new shows which have obviously popped up, but I wanted to watch some movies, and some new movies have popped up, and one of them was Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe Origins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes Origins.
We did do a trailer reaction on this one, and I was waiting for this to come out because I really obviously did want to go to the movies and see it. Look.
I've seen it. I saw it about 4 months ago, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay. It had its moments. It was enjoyable in some point. But not really a fantastic movie. Definitely go see it on streaming. It's worth seeing on streaming. But your typical origin story, and a typical revenge story as well. The father dies. Son grows up, wants to find the killer. Then there's twist at the end there. But I had some good little scenes, some good action scenes. Some of the cast was okay. But all in all, it was a pretty average movie. And if you want something to watch just for killing some time, and you're not really heavily invested in G.I. Joe as a franchise, then jump on and have a look. But I didn't rate it as much, dude. I don't know what you thought of it.
It's very much a throwaway film. I'm not a big G.I. Joe fan, honestly. But I will say I did like the first G.I. Joe movie, believe it or not. That one with Channing Tatum in it.
Channing
in it. And I actually enjoyed that. I thought it was quite a bit of fun and a bit silly and kind of thing. This one tried to be more, I reckon, and it just didn't kind of work for me. Henry Golding, who plays Snake Eyes, absolutely fantastic. I think he's a great actor. Actually, if you ever seen a film called The Gentleman, he's excellent in that movie called The Gentleman. Yeah. He's really good. The rest of the cast, I feel very wasted, and it just, I don't know. It's hard to buy that. Samantha Weaving, by the way, Hugo Weaving's niece, if you didn't know that, Hugo Weaving, Agent Smith, his niece. She is 5'0" for a start. I just didn't buy her. I thought she was really stood out as a poor performer. Look, I'm not a massive, very throwaway kind of film, and by Rotten Tomatoes, the critics didn't like it.
Yeah, didn't like it either.
No.
But a bit up there for the audience, but yeah.
So,
that's what I watched.
The other week. Here in Australia, we had The Kingsman.
Nice.
Franchise, we can call it now. Only about a month ago, just come out here in the cinemas in Australia. Just come out in the cinemas in January. But funnily enough, the way the world works with streaming, it was actually released on Disney Plus on Thursday, I believe, here in Australia. So I got to watch The King's Man.
Yeah.
So which is the prequel to The Kingsman and The Kingsman Golden Circle. It's a very different Kingsman movie. It certainly doesn't have the high energy and pop kind of influences than the first 1 and 2 had. This is a bit more of a dour version, a bit more of a serious version, but I did like it a lot. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the slow pacing of this movie, and it is a slow movie, Rick. The first hour, nothing a hell of a lot happens, but once it gets into it, okay. Had a really big twist to 3/4 of the way through, which is a big shock and surprise, which was excellent, which I really, really enjoyed. And Ralph Fiennes in this movie, man, he is amazing. He is amazing. It is, to me, the weakest of the three. I don't hate it. I think he's made a movie that's a bit more in line of older type of movies rather than these modern kind of quick cutting, a lot of slow-mo stuff. There's a little bit of it in this film, but it very much is another origin movie about the Kingsman. So, and set in World War One. And you know what the cool thing was? And I'll give it to them. Whoever decided to write the script and try to keep it as historically accurate as possible, because without any spoilers, I suppose this is a little bit of a spoiler.
I'm going to watch it tonight anyway.
And we all know spoilers. But there is an opening, which was in the trailer, of some cars we see a bomb blow up. They do what caused the beginning of World War One historically. They reenact perfectly, and they don't take any liberties. They literally do the same thing, but they, put the Kingsman kind of influence in there, and it's very cool. Like, I thought it was kind of very cool. Look, go in there with lowered expectations, and I think you'll enjoy yourself. Go in there with thinking it'll be just like the first Kingsman. You will be disappointed. So, but yeah, that's what I thought of the Kingsman.
I'll check.
In the world of streaming, it's hard. It's hard not to recommend things, is it?
No, that's right.
Costs you nothing. So
that's it.
All right, let's move on to our first story of the week.
What we got, mate?
Like I said, it's pretty quiet this week, unusually. There's always news, but it's pretty quiet. Yeah. But I think one of the big ones is worth talking about is our favorite and probably one of the most anticipated sequels, I would say, especially in the comic book universe. And I'm not talking Doctor Strange, I'm talking Deadpool. It's been
nice.
When did they come out with the 2018 was Deadpool 2. So it's been 4 years since we've had and no real sign yet of when we're getting a third Deadpool. Obviously, Deadpool being an R-rated superhero film got caught up in the Disney purchase because it was a Fox property.
Correct.
So I am sure that that's caused a lot of these delays. But Ryan Reynolds, who's out at the moment promoting the Adam Project, which drops on Netflix very soon, come out and gave us some updates on Deadpool 3. So the update is he doesn't have any updates. But what he's saying is we pretty much talk about everything. But I'll say this about that particular subject is I'll have a batch of updates on that sooner rather than later. I hope so. So I'll be able to get into stuff about Deadpool a little bit more clearly and definitively down the road. How long is that road? We don't know. But it says to me in the next few months we're going to get some news. I mean, it's been one of the saddest things about the merger is that this property, which everybody loves, and especially Ryan Reynolds loves doing, has kind of like had to take a back seat. And especially with the MCU, who Rick, that phase 4 that we're seeing now was planned 6-7 years ago. Correct. But they're so far and advanced in their planning that it's just a sad thing that Deadpool, hasn't been able to kind of had another sequel. And the problem is, if you bring Deadpool into the MCU, which is clearly based upon what we've seen in Spider-Man and No Way Home, and the rumors coming out about Doctor Strange, is about embracing all the other franchises, anything that's ever had Marvel on it, and make it the one thing. When you bring in Deadpool, Rick, you bring in a whole set of
other
issues,
characters,
don't you?
Everything.
Well, you bring in a whole set of issues because you've got an R-rated superhero film in a PG-13 Disney-owned universe. And the only way Deadpool, I think, can be really himself and free is to have that R rating. I mean, I think they could do it PG-13. But, and the other thing is, you introduce Deadpool, Rick, you introduce the fourth wall dilemma. And that is he talks to the audience. And other MCU films don't do that.
No. They look... I mean, we have a lot of faith in Ryan Reynolds because he did so well with this Deadpool. And the only thing I'm worried about is just leaving it too long in between movies. I mean, like you said, it's been 4 years already now. It's starting to get onto that stretch there. But obviously, Disney have got something and they know about the R rating, and that's something that's a big issue. And I just hopefully they capture it right, because if they don't, they're going to lose a lot of fans over this, definitely. So
I can't imagine Ryan signing up for anything that isn't less than what they've kind of done already. And I think Kevin Feige wouldn't want to delineate Deadpool as a character either. I think the biggest question Deadpool brings in, Rick, is do we start fracturing the universe? And I would say Kevin Feige would be going, no way. So I think it's going to be interesting.
Disney know this is a moneymaker for them. They know like how much money it made. The first movie was just
the first $1 billion R-rated film in February of all.
They know, so they got to tread lightly and try and work something out. So hopefully sooner than later. So,
yeah, 100%. I agree with you, Rick. I agree with that. Now, moving on, mate, we're going to talk about Marvel again. There seems to be a few Marvel stuff, always comic book heavy in this day and age. This one is a great news for us, Rick, and a great news for a lot of the planet. Maybe not so great news for the US. And what we're talking about, and you actually pointed me towards this story, Rick, and that is that Netflix Marvel shows, including Daredevil, are headed to Disney Plus in March.
That's huge.
But not for the US.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
Which is really bizarre. And that's got to be obviously licensing agreements that's around. So, Rick, they're all coming home. And this is obviously clearly part of the, as I just aforementioned, the Kevin Feige agenda to encompass all Marvel material under the one roof. Like it's set in the same multiverse. So it raises the question, doesn't it, Rick? Okay, we're getting them all back. Are they part of the 616 movie universe? Or are they, or bringing these guys in, is this part of a different universe? Its own separate universe.
We saw Charlie in Spider-Man.
Yep.
So, I think whatever direction they got in March is it's only around the corner. What is that, March 18th, I think they were saying? Does it say?
Yeah,
March 18th, I think they were saying.
Down here.
I reckon.
Yeah.
I think this is a good direction. Either way that they go.
March 18th.
These shows. So, I mean, I loved Daredevil. I thought when it first came, it was great. I thought it was a great
First
show.
two seasons are great.
Fantastic. I didn't mind Jessica Jones.
First season I loved.
Was good. The second was a bit, Hated Iron Fist. I thought it was just really bad. Same with Luke Cage. I think a lot of people would agree with me. Love the Punisher. I thought that was great. Defenders.
Wow, you hated Luke Cage.
Yeah, I didn't like Luke Cage.
Wow,
Did you really
love Luke Cage?
Yeah,
I like Luke Cage above most of them.
Really?
Yeah, man, I really dug it. Yeah, I really dug Luke Cage.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
I do agree with you with Iron Fist, though. That was a big
Iron Fist was fucking terrible. And then even with the Defenders, I got so hyped up with that, and it's kind of
best scene was Jessica Jones and Luke Cage getting it on.
That's the whole thing you remember out of this season.
Yeah, it was pretty good, man. Hey, it's not often you see two superheroes going at it.
It's been a few, but yeah. Look, that is great news. I think this is great, and looking forward to seeing how they do it. Obviously, we've seen D'Onofrio in obviously Hawkeye, so
the factor is, I mean, the thing is though, Rick, that doesn't mean they're part of the same universe. Because as we know, there are infinite universes, multiverses. Yeah. And so you have different versions. Like they come out and said that the Kingpin in Hawkeye is not the same different Kingpin. I suppose I've just answered my own question then by saying that.
Yeah.
Is that
separate universe.
And the Charlie Cox in Spider-Man No Way Home could be a different Matthew Murdock, just a different variant. And we all know about variants because of Loki. So how clever is that, though? You have this multiverse and you have different variants of characters, which literally is a writer's free pass to write anything with any character that's ever appeared in any Marvel property on the screen. Yeah, it's crazy. It's great. It's like they can do whatever the hell they want.
Correct. Yeah.
But the reason I also bring up with the Netflix shows, Rick, is they tied in and made sure that you knew that they were part of the MCU, even though they officially weren't. But they did it in a classy way because they don't even refer to like the Avengers. They refer to it as the incident. But that's it. Yep. They don't go into specifics about characters or specifics about what actually happened. They just refer to it as an incident, which kind of has stood them well, because if you did want to make him part of the 616 normal movie universe, you probably could with these characters. But I do think these are, these guys exist, but they're in, that's universe 718 or something. You know what I mean? It's a different universe. So, still very cool. And sucks to be in the US, because
why is that?
I know you and me, Rick, we'll be able to turn on bloody Disney Plus, and when we go to our Marvel section, everything is there.
Yeah.
Everything. So
I don't know why they're not doing it in the US, but
licensing agreements, 100%. That's what's got to be. It's got to be some licensing agreements they've got with other streaming services or other studios. That is not making it come on Disney. It will eventually, but not at this short term. All righty, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. Now, staying in the world of Marvel, very Marvel heavy show this week, guys. Is one of the TV shows that are coming out. There's lots coming out, as we know. Lots to be excited about. Some I'm not so excited about. Some I might like. I don't know really much, so I'm open to it. And this is one of those shows, Ironheart. Now, Ironheart, Lyric Ross has joined the cast of the Marvel series, and apparently she's in a show called This Is Us, an American kind of very soap opera. I've never watched it, Rick.
Never heard it.
You're probably. I was going to say you must be a big fan, but you've never heard of it.
Yeah, mate. No.
So she has joined the cast of Ironheart, Marvel's latest Disney Plus series. Stars Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, a genius inventor who creates the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man. So she must be playing the best friend or something. That's what her role's going to be. But this is an interesting story, because in the comic books, apparently, and I was only just reading this morning, all right? You may know more than me. In the comic books, she reverse engineers one of Tony Stark's Iron Man suits, and she's 15 at the time. And she does such an amazing job. She gets noticed by Tony Stark. So in that comic book, and like I said, you may be able to confirm or not confirm, I do believe that Iron Man is still around when Ironheart exists. But in the Marvel one, then clearly Tony Stark's dead. So, I wonder if that means we get a Pepper Potts in the cast, or we get a Happy Hogan appearing or something like that.
Probably. Yeah, maybe.
You kind of tie it into the whole Tony Stark thing. You've kind of probably got to have one or two kind of characters, some sort of crossover there. I'm excited about it. I'd love to see more Iron Man armor back around. And I think Marvel are thinking the same thing, because you're not only got this, you've also got Armor Wars as well coming out. So clearly there's people still want to see people in Iron Man suits. I'd like him to move away from nanotech, though. I'm a bit fucking old.
You want to go back to old school Iron Man technology?
It's a bit of a cheat in the end when he just goes and it just appears on him. One of the things that makes Iron Man's great in my mind was the suit felt so tactile. It felt so real. Yeah. You saw the gears mechanism. It was a problem for him to get in the suit. Trust me, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing. I like that kind of mechanical of it. And I thought by the end, with the Avengers Endgame, Infinity War onwards, it's just got a nano suit. Just felt like
progression. I guess technology grows.
I know, but still,
you wanted that old school.
I really did.
We might see it here. We probably would see it in this show.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would like them to go back to a more mechanical type of thing. I mean, if she starts by building nano suits, then where's the fun in that from a visual storytelling perspective? You want her to go through the same problems Tony Stark had with getting the suit to work properly. And another thing that was always great about the Iron Man films was, the suits weren't always working properly. He had problems. He had malfunctions. He had hurdles to get over in the creation of the suit. So, but I'm still excited. I don't know when this is coming out. I don't know when they've got the schedule. I would say it's probably a next year thing. I would say it's probably a next year thing. So, There's just so much coming out this year now. So,
mate, you got Moon Knight coming out very, very soon. So,
well, that's March 30, as we know. It's March 30.
So there you go.
Yeah. So there's lots kind of happening, especially in the Marvel universe. Now let's jump the fence to the DC. Let's jump fence to DC. Don't have much of a story here. We do know the Batman comes out next week, Rick. We are excited. We've got our luxury tickets for. They call it Lux here in Australia, and that is like big giant lounge chairs, fancy food, all that kind of thing. We're super excited.
We do it in style, Jace.
We do it. We do it in style, mate. So,
it's a 3-hour movie. So
yeah. Hey, did you know that earlier in the week I'd seen a story saying that, and I got really worried about this because there was a story coming out saying that they Warner Brothers has decided not to lift the embargo on reviews, which really concerns me, Rick, because it's a bad sign for films. When the studios don't go, hey, you're not allowed to talk about this film until the day before it comes out. Historically, it's known as a movie that's got issues because the studio doesn't want any negative reviews of this film before people go and see it. So it got me worried, hey, because that's 9 times out of 10.
Red flag.
That's the big giant red flag. However, my fears were quickly put to bed about 48 hours later when, Warner Brothers realized what they were doing and they started releasing reviews, and the reviews are through the roof. So apparently this film is amazing. So I'm looking forward to go and see the Batman. But we live in a world, Rick, that there isn't just one Batman. and it isn't Robert Pattinson. It is, of course, I'm talking about Michael Keaton returning
the OG
as Batman, which is pretty crazy. And which is really weird because, back in the day, he didn't enjoy, by the end of it, he didn't enjoy doing Batman. He wanted out, and obviously left after the second one. Yeah. But now he's back and he is loving doing the Batman, apparently. He's into it big time. Enough that even on his own Instagram, he's getting into it by, popping up photos like this. What a great silhouette. Because that's what he's wearing at the time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Can you imagine? He's probably going from one studio lot to the next studio lot to filming next scene. So he's walking along.
He's wearing the suit.
Studios, hanging out in his bat suit, So it's super cool to see. He is so excited about it. So obviously he's not just in one film, as we know. He's in The Flash, and he's also in HBO Max's Batgirl movie. So, and remember that Batgirl will not be getting a theatrical release; it's going straight to HBO Max, which isn't a bad sign.
Well, no, which is just good. I think
Peacemaker, which was an incredible show. So, no, it's just great to see that Keaton, who is pushing on near 70, I think.
Yeah.
That he's embracing it so much and he's just having the time of his life.
And that's so he should. Like you said, he was, everyone loves the Keaton Batman. It's so iconic. And when we saw, a couple of the photos revealed of him wearing the suit again, people went nuts, man. And he's loving it. Good for him, man. So
I know this has been talked about a lot on other channels and things like that. But I remember this too. In 88, I was 14. 14, 15. And I was hyped. Like, you couldn't believe that we were getting this new Batman movie. It was the most exciting thing. I was at the right age, big, giant film buff. This was the biggest movie on the planet. And I remember the kickback. And this is way before the internet. I remember the anger about Michael Keaton being cast. How everybody went, this is ridiculous. How could he ever play Batman? How could Beetlejuice be Batman? Mr. Mum Batman? Like, because he was known as very much a comedic actor at that point. And I, on the other hand, I've got to say this, even at 14, I went, nah, man, he's going to be amazing. I was on board from the get-go. But I remember, like, these days we're used to, like, all this criticism online. But how much hate was out for him when, in an analog world, when we only got the newspaper and magazines and stuff like that, that people were just not happy about it. But as soon as that movie opened, Rick, silence. Everyone knew how good he was and how well, actually, forget the film, the trailer. When the first trailer came out, should shut everyone up. So I can't wait. I can't wait to see The Flash, which is clearly DC's Doctor Strange Madness, the multiverse of madness. So it's their version of that because they're going to reset the universe and all that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to see Michael Keaton back. How about you, mate?
Mate, of course, mate. Of course, man. Cannot wait. I mean, how iconic is obviously the suit, but
Yeah,
everyone knows, even the Batmobile back then, everyone loves that Batmobile as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was such iconic. And like you said, we never had that big blockbuster comic movies back then, you know.
No, the only thing you had was Superman. The only thing you had.
Yeah.
But by then, Superman had been sold to Golden Globus, which were B-grade filmmakers at the time.
And they did. They killed him.
They killed it with Superman 4, which was just a horrible movie. But yeah, like there wasn't anything that's, and especially like in the Batman world.
No.
I mean, prior to that, your only reference point to Batman is either if you were reading comics, and then you got your true sense of what Batman was, because that was like in the Frank Miller days. But around that time, everybody's reference point was Adam West comedy Batman TV series.
That's right.
I mean, to make, to go in the direction that was unheard of, because even Superman was very light and fluffy. So for the fact that they went at that time and went for something that was gothic and it was dark and it was, even though it had a bit of comedy in it, it was very much serious. So yeah, there was nothing like it.
Bring it on, I say. Let's see Keaton back on the big screen.
Yeah, I mean, like, he oozes charisma, Keaton, and obviously one of our great actors. And, the fact that he's into it means that, a good sign. It's a good sign for him and the performance. And he's had some lovely things to say about the scripts he's been working on. And at his age, he doesn't need to say that stuff. He's not being paid any extra. So it gives me a lot of confidence for sure. All right, moving on, Rick. Really just got one more story for the week. I'm not going to spend too long on this one, but it's worth talking about. I'm a big Christopher Nolan fan. Maybe wasn't a massive fan of Tenet. A bit confusing for me. That's because I'm stupid.
Lost it, mate.
But I love his stuff. I love his movies. And I'm really excited about his new movie coming up, Oppenheimer, which is about, and J. Robert Oppenheimer was the father of the atomic bomb, obviously being developed in the late 30s, early 40s, and eventually used twice in 1945 in August over Japan, Hiroshima, and Nagasaki. But they're making a film about the making of the atomic bomb. Christopher Nolan's making it. I'm really excited. The only reason I wanted to bring it up, it's not because of this particular actor here, Move Stories.
There we are.
Who doesn't love this guy, Polka Dot Man?
But
he's obviously worked with Christopher Nolan before. But I just wanted to bring it, and people keep an eye out for this film. This is going to be huge. It's only just started filming, but look at this cast. They've got Cillian Murphy playing J. Robert Oppenheimer. There was a great photo released on the internet of him earlier in the week. But how's this for a supporting cast? Of course, you've got David Demotion, but Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Rami Malek, Benny Safdie, Josh Hartnett, Dane DeHaan, Jack Quaid, Matthew Modine, Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo himself, and David Krumholtz. This is one of the biggest casts that I think we've seen in a film since the Cannonball Run, my friend. I think this is just an all-star cast. So, I can't wait, because what I really want from Nolan is these type of biography stuff. I mean, I still think his Dunkirk is a masterpiece.
Amazing.
It's unbelievable masterpiece. And it's not one of his flashy films. It isn't like a Batman film. It isn't a time-bending dream thing or anything like that, or an interspace thing. It's very much, a biography that this film is going to be, and I'm super excited for it. So that was the only other thing. Is keep an eye out for Oppenheimer. What was that?
Yeah, no, that's a huge cast. That's just massive.
Yeah, it just goes to show it must be an amazing.
The pulling power he has. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone wants to get involved.
No one's going to sign up. Well, everyone's going to sign up because of him, but they're not going to sign up unless the script was awesome. It's good. So, which is absolutely brilliant, Rick. But there you go. That's our stories of the week, Rick. That's what we observed during the 7th episode and the 7th week of January. Oh, sorry, of the
Yeah.
year, 7th or 8th week, wherever we are.
Wow.
Either way, that's it for the week, Rick. I've got nothing more to add. We'll be back next week.
Next week.
Now, our show will be filmed
Jam-packed.
prior to seeing the Batman.
Yes.
But I think,
Yeah.
Rick, without question, we're going to have to do a full review of the Batman, which
Hell
will
yeah,
be
we will.
out a day or two after we've seen the movie.
Yeah.
We may even, Rick, have to give ourselves a day just to let it settle before we go in and do a deep dive.
Of course.
So
yeah.
that's coming. Also coming up for me is I'm just about to, in the next hour and a bit, start filming our the first episode of a show I'm doing with Joe from our friends at To Be Seen. Captain's Quadrant, which is a Star Trek themed show.
Oh.
Surprise, surprise. I'm doing nerd stuff. And
Tricky.
this first episode is going to be centered around season 1 of Picard. So stay tuned for that. We'll be doing some cross promotion on both channels for it.
Yep.
So, which will be amazing. And of course, before we go, we've got to talk business, Rick. Let's talk some business. How do the guys connect with us and what's going on? How the hell can you get this awesome stuff that we're wearing?
Guys, all you need to do is give us a comment down below for the videos. Also, give us one of these thumbs up. Also, share the videos, comment, like, get it all out there because it's really good for us. Hit that notification bell so you know every time a video pops up that we do. And if you want to get some really, really cool merch, just hit those links down below or go visit popculturespreadstore.com to get your merch. So, yeah. Guys,
I believe this week, Rick, on the socials, I saw well, I've seen that mug before, but I also saw wearing some new fashion items this week with masks.
Yeah, we've got our COVID-safe masks as well.
Very good. Very cool. We'll be wearing them next week when we see the Batman.
Yes, we'll take some photos. We can't wait. Looking forward to it.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching as per usual, and we will see you guys. I suggest it'll be next week now, won't it?
Yeah, it will be next week,
guys. We'll see you soon.